I grew up on a farm deep in Montana back in the 2010s. Life there was a steady routine of work and simplicity. My dad handled the heavy lifting and repairs, while my mom managed the house and everything inside. I was familiar with the daily grind, fixing fences, tending to animals, and climbing the old windmill to keep it in working order. One evening, as the sun began to set and shadows lengthened across the fields, I was up at the windmill, about 30 or 40 feet off the ground. I was adjusting a loose bolt on the mechanism that pulled water from the well below. The windmill creaked and groaned with every move, but it was familiar and comforting. Suddenly, a screech sliced through the tranquil air. It was high-pitched and unnerving, much sharper and more frantic than the usual wildlife sounds. I thought at first it might be a raccoon or a rat meeting its end at the claws of a hawk. Yet, there was something off about it, something that made my skin prickle. I finished my repairs quickly and descended the ladder, eager to wash up for the evening. Inside, my mom was busy preparing dinner, the warm, inviting scent wafting through the kitchen. We used walkie-talkies to stay in touch around the farm, cheaper than cell phones and quite practical. My mom asked me where my walkie-talkie was, needing it charged. I realized I'd left it at the top of the windmill. Groaning at my forgetfulness, I grabbed a flashlight and headed back outside. The fields were cloaked in twilight as I walked toward the windmill, but the unsettling screech rang out again. It was closer this time, more immediate, and it set my nerves on edge. I climbed the ladder quickly, my flashlight beam cutting through the encroaching darkness. As I reached the top and retrieved my walkie-talkie, the screech came again, this time from directly below me. My heart hammered in my chest as I peered down, and that's when I saw it. Standing at the base of the windmill was a figure unlike anything I'd ever seen. It was cloaked in darkness, with long twisted arms ending in sharp, claw-like fingers. Its body was covered in matted, tangled hair that moved unnaturally in the breeze. The creature's face was a grotesque, bird-like mask, with a beak-like nose and eyes that seemed to slither like a snake's, reflecting the light of my flashlight with an unsettling, almost hypnotic gleam. I was rooted to the spot, my breath caught in my throat. The creature's gaze locked onto mine, its eyes glinting with an intelligence that was both malevolent and unnerving. Its mouth opened in a wide, twisted grin, stretching unnaturally as if the smile was carved rather than formed. In a sudden, jerky movement, the creature made a desperate attempt to climb the ladder. Its long, clawed hands reached for the rungs, but its claws couldn't find purchase on the metal. It clambered and scraped, but the claws kept slipping off, unable to grip the smooth, cold surface. The screech it emitted was a terrible, unearthly cry that seemed to pierce straight through my bones. Panic surged through me, and I snatched the walkie-talkie, fumbling to call for my mom. "Mom, something's out here!" My voice was ragged, filled with desperation. From the house I saw her emerge, her figure a small beacon of hope against the darkening sky. As she approached the windmill, the creature let out one last horrific screech before it gave up its futile attempt and retreated into the night, its form vanishing into the shadows of the fields. My mom climbed to the top of the windmill, concern etched on her face. I explained what I had seen, and she admitted that she had heard the screech too, but hadn't known what to make of it. We hurried back to the house, and the next morning brought a grim discovery. One of our goats had been torn apart, its remains scattered in a grisly display that left no doubt about the creature's intent. I still remember that night vividly, the creature's twisted face, its futile attempt to climb, and the terror that gripped me as it disappeared into the darkness. I'm relieved to be far from the farm now, free from the shadows that once haunted the windmill. But every now and then, when the wind howls and the night feels heavy, I think of that creature and wonder if it's still out there, lurking in the dark, waiting for the next soul to stumble into its path.